Welcome to round 4 of Old Folk Racing PlayStation. This week we are at Daytona in the road course, not the oval, with the amazing 4 GT LM GTE. That's a lot of GTs in the name. And of course, this is a very popular car, and we look forward to seeing the drivers here in Daytona. And here is the qualifying with Darren Head and Dale Taylor dominating qualifying, and a full field of 15 drivers, and the way they go, we have a rolling start in this race, and already is contact there at the back, and some people are already tagging other cars as Darren Head and Dale Taylor are going to go into turn 1 side by side, but it's Darren Head that is going to go ahead in this race, followed by pole position Dale Taylor, and Diogo Silva is dropped to 4th, and Jeremy Newman, a rookie, is in an amazing 3rd place. What a good side here, rookie. His first race with Old Folk Racing PlayStation. We are going to go into a replay here, and that's Diogo Almeida on the outside. When he got tagged by someone, that was, I believe, Simon Allen and Diogo Almeida got together, and this is Mike Langley and Jorge Jesus. I think they got together as well. And this was just a bit of bad luck there with Simon Allen and Diogo Almeida in that first corner. We are going to go on board with Jumbo. Look at this, all sorts of things. When Jumbo is span into the infield, and all sorts of problems here. This is Stuart Brand. There's like 4 wide there, and of course this was never going to work right at the start of the race. Would you believe it? And look at that, Stuart Brand is in 15th spot. No, he's in 13th, I apologize. He's in 13th spot and lost a lot of time. Look at these, all sorts of dicing there. Jeremy Newman is off the track, and here comes Diogo Silva into 3rd place. That was a good move. Jeremy Newman loses a number of positions on this first lap. We are still on a very long first lap. Look at this, Dale Taylor getting quite aggressive, trying to make a move on Darren Head as we go back to the tri-oval. This is the first lap, and here is where drafting starts to come into effect. And look at this, Diogo Silva is in a good run here. Diogo Silva is in a good run to get 2nd place, and look at this, Dale Taylor trying to protect the outside, Darren Head trying to protect the inside as they go into the bus stop, side by side now for the lead, and this could get dicey as they actually run side by side through the chicane. Diogo Silva has nowhere to go, even if he has a lot more speed. And Jorge Jesus and Scott Davely have got together into the infield. Disaster for the American driver, and this was a little bit of an avoidable incident there that has made these 2 drivers lose a lot of time. Look at this, they are now 10th and 11th as Diogo Silva is now running almost side by side with the leaders. Look at this, Darren Head is coming back to the lead, and Diogo Silva is trying to find a way around these 2 drivers. Dale Taylor runs wide, and so does and Diogo Silva has gone into the lead of the race. Look at that, Dale Taylor. And now there's collision between Jeremy Newman and Darren Head, and Dale Taylor has lost a lot of time as well. This was very, very predictable. Drivers dicing with each other through the tri-oval, and then it's time to brake to the first corner, and the brakes aren't there. Darren Head drops to 3rd. Jeremy Newman is up to 2nd, but look at this, Darren Head is really aggressively trying to regain that 2nd place. Diogo Silva continues to lead, but look at this, they are going to go back into the tri-oval, and the drafting effect is in fact even bigger than what we anticipated, because these cars are just glued to each other in the tri-oval. Look at this, Jeremy Newman is going to go for the lead. The rookie of Old Folk Racing PlayStation is going to lead a race on his first attempt, and he's going to go on the outside into the bus stop chicane, which I am not certain is the greatest idea. Diogo Silva brakes later and manages to retain the lead. And look at that, all sorts of argy-bargy going on there. That was Dale Taylor and Kev Allen. Diogo Silva miraculously has retained the lead on the 2nd lap, but we have still 10 laps to go in this race. It's going to be quite a long afternoon of drafting one another. Look at this leading pack. Diogo Silva is trying to, of course, retain the inside line, and look at this 3 wide into the tri-oval, and this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Who is going to be the latest of the late breakers? Diogo Silva breaks late, but also takes Darren Head off the road. Diogo Silva takes Darren Head off the road and into the lead. No, that was Jeremy Newman. I apologize. Jeremy Newman off the road with Diogo Silva, and Darren Head regains the lead. What a turnaround in this race. Dale Taylor, the pole position man, is still in 4th spot. We are on lap 3, and I can surely anticipate we are going to see more drafting. Diogo Silva is with a problem. Diogo Silva has a problem there, and oh, Dale Taylor has spun now. Dale Taylor trying to overtake Diogo Silva on the outside, ends up off the road, and he's losing quite a lot of time. Disaster for the pole position man. He is going to have to wait for the entire field to go around the international. No, this is not the international horseshoe, it's the Western horseshoe. If there is anything that I learned by watching several hours of the Daytona 24 hours, is that there are 2 horseshoes in this circuit, and one of them is the international and the other one is the Western, and that was in particular the Western. Scott Davely, now in 9th place, is going to go around Todd Antonio. This is black car with black car. Oh, and that's contact there between the 2 drivers, and the Scott Davely again. His 2nd visit to the infield, not the care center fortunately, but the infield tarmac of this road. That is a disaster for Scott Davely. Look at that. This is an action replay. As look at this, Todd Antonio was actually drafting from Jorge Jesus. Oh, and I think it's Scott there that was cutting the line across, and nothing that Todd could do to avoid the contact. Scott Davely is again in 13th spot and has to start it all over again. Jeremy Newman, he is a rookie, but he's already very familiar with the podium places in this race. He's in 2nd place. Look at this, Darren Head lost a bit his composure there in turn 1. Well, lost a lot of composure there going through the grass, but is going to retain the lead now, protecting the inside. This is a good battle for the lead here at Daytona, but of course this is making it possible for Diogo Silva to just close the gap. And again, we are going to go into the tri-oval, and guess what, more drafting will occur with potentially unpredictable results. Jeremy Newman now is trying to go on the outside. Look at this, they are absolutely aggressively defending from each other. I'm not entirely sure that is the fastest way around this Daytona road course, but certainly very spectacular, and Diogo Silva must be loving it because he's now able to draft. And again, these 3 drivers have gone 3 wide into the oval section of this track, and we are very eager to see if they are going to do it all over again. Jeremy Newman, of course, is already with ideas. He's going to go. No, look at this. Darren Head is protecting the inside. Here comes now Diogo Silva. He's going to go on the outside, but this is a bus stop. Outside is not a great idea, and he figures it out and backs out of it at the last moment as they all survive to fight another day. Ooh, a little bit of cutting there. It's, Jorge Jesus is. Oh, Jorge Jesus is trying to overtake someone in the bus stop, ends up in the tire wall, and that was again not what George wanted for his race. He's sitting in 7th. I think it was Frankie that he was trying to overtake. Gonçalo Mota, we haven't seen any snapshot of him, but he's in the top 5. He's absolutely and brilliantly avoided all sorts of carnage. Look at this. This is now Jeremy Newman on the inside of Darren Head. No, Darren Head was inside, sorry, of Jeremy Newman, and they all retain their positions and begin yet another lap as Diogo Silva is trying to time his move. Perhaps he's not being overly aggressive. He's observing the battle for the lead and he's trying to find his opportunity, because this race, we are not even at the midpoint of this race. Now this is the international horseshoe, and look at that, 1st, 2nd and 3rd we have Kev Allen. We haven't seen too much of Kev Allen in that yellow car. Of course, he chose this combo, so he's quite competitive, but not yet competitive enough to challenge for the podium, also because he's running alone and these 2 drivers just keep drafting from one another. And well, they just are able to achieve a higher speed. Look at this, Jeremy Newman again coming at Darren Head protecting again the inside. This looks almost like a carbon copy of a couple of laps ago, but now Jeremy Newman seems actually more actively trying, and now he's messed up the chicane. Can Diogo Silva? Yes, he can. Diogo Silva is into second place, and Jeremy Newman loses it completely at the exit of the chicane, and here comes Cavalan into a podium position as Jorge Jesus is again trying to overtake Frankie for the second time. The first time didn't end up very well as he spun on his own at the bus stop, but maybe he's going to get luckier this time around. Look at this, Frankie, of course, keeping the low line, forcing Jorge to go the long way around him, and of course that's possible here at Daytona, but in the end the first corner is to the left, and now Frankie is just a little bit all over the place, as is Jorge. And I'm not, well, this all could go haywire here in the first corner, but it doesn't. Simon Allen is a very active spectator of this battle. He's sitting in 8th place. Dale Taylor, the pole position man, is in 9th place. Not, I can't remember the last time that the pole position man was so low in the leaderboard by the middle of the race. Todd Antonio retains 10th place, and Scott Davely has recovered to 11. Mike Langley is 12th. 13th is Jambo. 14th is Diogo Almeida. Hasn't really recovered much from that first lap incident. And 15th is Stuart Brand. Stuart also affected by problems in the beginning of the race, and now trying to get a few more points, but 15th place is all that he can achieve for the time being. Of course, still a long way to go in this race, and we still have quite a lot of action, as now the two liveries, Darren Head and Diogo Silva, that have the same livery, are now battling for the lead of this race. Lap 6 out of 12 is now complete, as Diogo Silva is, oh look at this, this is Simon Allen trying to go around, I believe, Frankie, and a bit of a push there, as I think Jorge Jesus has gone through. Yes, Jorge Jesus is up to 6th spot. So that's interesting to observe. Simon Allen wants that 7th spot, and now things are trying to be a bit more stable, but with Old Fox Racing PlayStation you never know. There is always action around the corner. Look at this now, Simon Allen is going to go on the inside of turn 1, and Frankie leaves him room, surprisingly, because he could have chosen to stick to that inside line, and now Simon Allen is actually through as long as he can stop that car on time. Absolutely brilliant, this overtake. I think it's the first overtake in this race in turn 1 that has actually worked, as oh, look at this, Jorge Jesus. Oh, and Simon Allen has hit the back of Gonçalo Mota and lost the position to Frankie again. As I was mentioning, Jorge Jesus is actually up to 5th. He has gone around Gonçalo Mota, and Gonçalo was certainly a little bit slow out of that corner, but Simon Allen just ran into the back of Gonçalo, ended up losing a lot of momentum, and one position again to Frankie, as we now go into the American class of this race, and this is Scott Davely in the 10th spot, and Mike Langley in 11th. Now the highest American in this race is actually Frankie in 7th place, and he's well ahead of pretty much everyone else, as now Coppernob 75, that Simon Allen is again trying to overtake Frankie, and he's trying to do so in the bus stop chicane, and Gonçalo Mota seems to have lost a bit of pace. Now Frankie makes a mistake into the bus stop chicane, and here comes Simon Allen. Yes, he's done it, but did he pick up a penalty at that exit? Did he pick up a penalty? We do not know. We cannot see penalties on the leaderboard, but it seems to me that the race director is at least going to have to investigate this. Look at this, is a battle for the lead now between Darren Head and Diogo Silva. Darren Head on the inside, Diogo Silva on the outside, and that wasn't really a move there for Diogo Silva, because Darren Head had it all protected and was also braking later. Lap 8 out of 12, so 4 to go at the end of this one into the International Horseshoe, and Darren Head there overcooking his braking. Look at this, Mike Langley is on the well, he's on the outside and off the track, as now we've got the 3 Americans together again, and that's Frankie that is down to 9th after that error in the bus stop chicane, and Scott Davely definitely trying to pick up the lead of the American class of this race. Mike Langley there in 11th, And we do have Todd Antonio still in the race as well. He's currently 15th. He's dropped back as well. We can see exactly what happened to the American driver, but he was in the top 10 for the first half of this race. But now this is the closest battle we have at the moment. Besides the battle for the lead, is the battle for 9th spot between, look at this is Diogo Silva now again at the bus stop chicane, and again Darren is really making that car as wide as possible and avoiding the drafting, at least at the entrance of the bus stop chicane. Now they seem to be more glued together than ever at the start of lap 9, and Diogo Silva is going to go for it, or is he going to go on the outside, and that's going to be again the long way around, and that's unlikely to go. He's trying to side draft him, and maybe that's going to be the way to gain a bit more speed as they go side by side. The number 19 of Darren Head, the number 20 of Diogo Silva go side by side into turn 1. Will Diogo Silva make a move? And the answer is no, because Darren has the inside line, which tends to be the correct line in motor racing to defend a position. Look at this, Scott Lively now is on the inside of no, he's not on the inside because Frankie protected the inside at the last minute at the 11th hour. He's on the outside now, Scott, and braking into turn 1. Maybe we are going to see some action here. He's off the track, and the race director is not going to want to see that. He probably needs to back off a little bit, but nice battle here for the lead of the American class. And I don't know, in the last 2 rounds the American drivers seem to be actively pursuing, being very close to one another. I think this is highly suspicious. We do have a few international drivers between Mike Langley and Todd Antonio. We have Diogo Almeida. Simon Allen is in 13th place. We haven't seen what happened because we saw that he overtook Frankie, but oh, look at this, Scott Davely has hit the back of Frankie and now has lost some momentum. But I wonder what has happened to Simon Allen, because he was running in the top 7 and now he is in 13th spot. Look at this, this is getting very dicey here between, oh, and a few moments ago this is going to be a replay of what happened. Oh, and Simon Allen, oh, this wasn't Simon Allen's finest hour as he hit Gonçalo Mota and ended up at the pit lane exit. And that's really interesting how that happened. He was very lucky to avoid a penalty, being disqualified if he had been found to be in a pit lane too quickly. I don't think that this is not Simon Allen's. Oh, and someone has gone back there. Oh, and that, who's that? That is Gonçalo Mota. Disaster for Gonçalo Mota. This is the action replay between him and Dale Taylor, and Gonçalo was trying to battle with Simon. He lost a bit of time in that incident in turn 1, and here comes Dale Taylor now at the bus stop, and Dale is going to go for the inside. He's not side by side yet, but he's going for it, and Gonçalo tries to brake later. Oh, and the contact happens, and the Gonçalo Mota ends up spinning in the bus stop. That was just, I think I'll put it down to a racing incident, but again we are seeing quite a lot of clumsy moves here, and I'm not entirely sure Dale Taylor had the full rights to that particular corner. Look at this now, this is the battle for the lead. Is tighter than ever with Diogo Silva in second place, now going to go from the inside in here. Yes, he's going to go for the inside, but Darren Head protects and shuts the door on him. Darren Head just shuts the door. This is lap 10 out of 12, and the third place man Cavallo, and he's actually getting closer than ever because these two are just wasting time with one another. And now that we are getting to the end of this race, the gloves are off and everyone is trying. Look at this, Darren Head now, he runs wide, and here comes Diogo Silva now side by side into the International Western Horseshoe. I apologize, now back into the tri-oval. Darren Head is, oh, again now he's trying to do a dummy there. Diogo Silva trying to do a dummy, and that was a bit of a switcheroo, and now they are actually side by side, and that's going to be whoever is the bravest of the bravest. The latest of the late breakers into the bus stop, which is not the ideal place to overtake. They are side by side, but look at this, Darren Head is trying to protect, but Diogo Silva is going to go absolutely for it. Yes, Diogo Silva goes on the inside and takes the lead of this race and spins and spins. Diogo Silva spins, trying to take the lead. Absolute disaster, but I don't think here's the replay. I don't think there was any contact with Silva. Here he is. Oh, and he just was almost saving it, but didn't quite save it. And Darren Head was very lucky. And here comes Cavallo now for the lead. And Cavallo all of a sudden has an opportunity to win this race because there's only 2 laps to go. And he is now in second place and absolutely glued to Darren Head. This is the battle for the lead right here as they go now, and they will start the penultimate lap as we speak in this race here at Daytona Road Course. This is one more lap complete. Darren Head still trying to protect the inside into turn 1, and Cavallo going on the outside, but quickly running out of track there. Quickly running out of track, quickly running out of track, quickly running out of time as there are only 2 laps to go, and Darren Head is doing it. Oh, Darren Head overcooks the braking point yet again. He was trying to defend as vigorously as possible. Mike Langley is in 9th spot and he's going to go around Frankie into 8th place. That was a good move again. One of the few good moves we saw into turn 1. Scott Davely is up to 7th, Mike Langley up to 8th, and this is because, of course, of Gonçalo Mota losing time with that incident with Dale Taylor, who's now in 6th at the bus stop. Gonçalo still holds the 10th position. 11th is Jumbo, 12th is Diogo Almeida, and 13th is Simon Allen, that, of course, had to exit the pit lane very slowly indeed, and is a couple of seconds. No, he is not far behind Gonçalo Mota. Maybe we still have a battle here for well, not Gonçalo Mota, it's Diogo Almeida. Maybe we have a battle here for 12th place, but more importantly we have a battle for the lead because Cavallo was trying to go on the outside of the bus stop chicane, and that would be a novelty if that move was ever going to work, as they now start the last lap of this race. Jumbo, we haven't seen too much of him. He's in the 11th spot. He had that problem in the beginning of the race. He's had a very steady race since, but he lost a lot of time in the beginning of the race. He's now trying to go on the inside of the bus stop, and that is, well, Mike Langley is the driver in front. And now turn 1 of the last lap, and Cavallo is going for it now. He's got a better exit now from turn 2. Oh, almost contact there with Darren Head, and Darren survives to fight another day and to get one more victory this season. He's absolutely going for it. He defended very vigorously from Diogo Silva, from Jeremy Newman, from Cavallo, and he's defending from everyone, but he's still in the lead of this race. And now Cavallo seems to have lost a little bit of momentum with that number 8 yellow Ford GT, and I don't think he's got a lot of options. He certainly has got one more opportunity at the bus stop, because I don't think at the exit of the chicane, oh, and he overcooks it there at the entry of the Triovo, and I think Darren Head might be in a safe distance, to win this race, and just a few more corners to go on lap 12, and I don't think he's going to be able to draft Darren into the bus stop, which means that Darren just needs to keep his line clean through the bus stop, and he's going to win this race. There you go. Darren Head, a few more corners to go. Cavallo, now it's desperation, and he manages to not lose it in the bus stop, but of course only a few more corners to go, and Darren Head is going to win. Darren Head is going to win, and what a magnificent win this was. Absolutely brilliant race, fighting with a lot of other drivers, but coming out on top, and he's happy with it, flashes his headlights, and here is a checkered flag at Daytona. Round 4, race 1, Darren Head is the winner. Second is Cavallo, and Diogo Silva manages to survive in third place. Fourth in his debut is Jeremy Newman, and the star is born at Daytona. Fifth is Alonso Fonso. Jorge Jesus, good recovery race from him. Sixth is Dale Taylor from pole position, a bit disappointing. Seventh is another recovery man, that's Scott Davely, that also wins the American class. 8th is gonna be Frankie. 9th is going to be Gonçalo Mota. 10th is going to be Jumbo, and a few moments ago this was Simon Allen and Diogo Almeida, and what has happened here, contact between Diogo Almeida and Simon Allen, but I suspect that's not what we are about to see, because these drivers were just a little bit too close to one another, and this is the last time they will go through the bus stop chicane, now called the Le Mans chicane. And I wonder if something is going to happen. There's side by side there between Mike Langley. Oh, and that was a 3 wide. That wasn't the greatest idea. A 3 wide there through the bus stop, and Simon Allen actually, and I think it was Diogo Almeida that was trying to get into that 3 wide well, it was the last lap, but not a very advisable move there. Mike Langley ends up losing a couple of spots in 12th. Simon Allen recovers to 11th, but still not the race that he wanted, and he's looking forward to better results in race 2. And here comes Diogo Almeida in 13th. 14th is going to be Todd Antonio, and 15th is going to be Stuart Brand, that has lost more time. We haven't seen what happened to Stuart, but definitely not the result that he wanted. This was an intriguing race here at Daytona. Race 1 is complete, and join us for race 2.